With less than 2 weeks before the August LSAT, LSAC has cut off access to dozens of LSAT prep tests in LawHub. Going forward, they're only letting you access prep tests in the new format 101 to 158. This means if you were using prep tests in the old format numbered 1 to 94, you're out of luck. I'll walk you through the recent change and what this means for your LSAT prep. For those who don't know me, my name is Steve Schwartz. I've been teaching the LSAT since 2005, and I personally increased my LSAT score from a 152 to a 175. And 2024 is the year of the biggest changes I've ever seen in the LSAT world over the course of my entire career. This year, of course, LSAC removed the logic game section, replaced it with a second logical reasoning section, starting with the August LSAT coming up in less than 2 weeks, and accompanying the change, LSAC has renumbered all the LSAT prep tests and reshuffled them, reorganized them into a new format without logic games and with that second scored logical reasoning section. Now, for the past few years, because they moved the LSAT online at the beginning of the pandemic, the best place to do the LSAT prep has not been in books anymore, but instead inside LSAC's LawHub platform, where you get dozens of LSAT prep tests in the official format. The other day, they made a sudden radical change where they now have blocked you from opening prep tests that are in that old format numbered 1 to 94 with logic games. Now, if you'd already started a practice test prior to that change just a day or two ago, you still can go in and finish up that exam, and you can look at your results from any practice tests you've already taken, but you can't reopen any completed tests to look in depth at the results or review the questions that you got wrong or had difficulty with. Because the numbered format 1 to 94 is the old legacy format, LSAC is trying to force everybody into that new numbering system where they've reshuffled the prep tests into a prep test 101 to 158. Now, of course, this is not malicious. LSAC really is trying to help, but I don't think they've fully thought through the implications of what they're doing or how this could negatively impact students, especially so close to the August LSAT, the first official LSAT exam without logic games in that new format. This is just terrible timing, and without any advance notice to boot, this definitely was not the right time for them to make such a major change that cuts off access to something vital like the work you've invested in your LSAT prep over the past several months or beyond. Because I know that a lot of students out there, especially those who've been studying for a while, had already done all their work in the old prep test numbering system inside LawHub and had organized all their studying around the old prep test numbering. So now to have to manually convert every prep test into that new system is a lot of work and a waste of your valuable and limited LSAT prep time. Now, why am I telling you all of this? Why am I making this video? Well, first off, I want students to know what the changes are, because you may have just logged in and wondered why things aren't working properly, and because I'm hoping LSAC watches this video, listens to this podcast, and reconsiders the terrible mistake they have made, especially so close to an official LSAT date. I hope that they reverse their decision and just let everyone have free access to these prep tests at least until January 2025, when they've already announced that they're going to then shut off access to the old prep tests entirely inside LawHub, which of course I don't think is necessary for them to have done either, but that's a whole different story. Now, I do know how much work it is to manually convert from the old numbering system into the new prep test numbering system, because at LSAT Unplugged, we spent the past several months updating all of our LSAT course material for the new format and the new prep test numbering system. By the way, shameless plug, if you're interested in finding out more about our programs, including live small group classes, on-demand video courses, small group coaching, and one-on-one coaching, you can check out the links below the video to find out more and to book a call with me, my team. We'd be glad to help you out. Now, one little discussed aspect of the numbering change from the old system to the new system is that a lot of official LSAT practice tests are not available in LawHub, including prep tests 1 to 18, 21, and 23. So if you are an LSAT obsessive like I am, you may want to get the out-of-print exams available only on Amazon, potentially through third-party sellers. You may not need these, of course, especially if you're taking the LSAT this fall. But if you have a longer LSAT prep timeline, if you're taking the LSAT in April or June of next year, or potentially beyond, or if you're studying for the LSAT full-time, maybe taking it in February, you may want to get your hands on those little discussed, little known prep tests, because of course there are limited reading count passages available, for example, and you may want to use some of those for drills or exercises focusing on the main idea, the main point, for example. However, because the LSAT is now double logical reasoning, you may want to instead focus on doing every single released LSAT logical reasoning question, especially the questions involving numbers and percentages, absolute versus relative values, those involving a bit more formal logic, since early indications suggest that the August LSAT and beyond may include a bit more emphasis on formal logic and quantitative reasoning, since the LSAT can no longer test this on the logic game section, since there is no longer any logic game section. So make sure you devote a bit more attention to that going forward. And again, if you'd like my help, links below to book a call. We'd be glad to help. In the meantime, I'll wish you all the best and take care.